Center for Applied Neuroscience presents Evenings with Coaches.
I'm here to talk about dating by design, and I'm Ayla, and I just took Mandy's course in coaching, but my background before that was communication design and also interdisciplinary design, so that's just working with other types of designers on your project. So this is a project that is near and dear to my heart. I've been working on it for about 3 years now, and just today I started the pre-order for the book, Dating by Design, so I'm really excited, and I'm glad to be talking about it tonight. I'm going to go back and just give you a bit of an intro. This is sort of what might appear on the inside of the book about dating by design, but it'll give you a better understanding of what it's all about. So, for centuries, designers of all kinds, from industrial designers to graphic designers, architects to advertisers, have been developing innovative ways to approach complex challenges. In Dating by Design, the tools, strategies, methods, and ideas of some of history's greatest designers are applied to the often challenging realm of human relationships. Blending humor with practical advice and wisdom, Dating by Design aims to help the reader navigate the complexities of modern love to improve the quality, health, and durability of their relationships. For too long, we have accepted relationships as being too complex, magical, or messy to be within our own control. Dating by Design asserts that anyone can learn how to design a better relationship with pen, paper, and a little creativity. So that's just a background. So as I mentioned, I started this project about 3 years ago, and that was coming out of a really challenging relationship myself. And I looked around and found that, sort of like psychosis, what I could do was use what I understood from the world of design, which is very practical and aims to solve problems and create solutions and imagine the world in different ways. And so I looked to that for guidance, and the first Dating by Design blog was born, and now there's a few. So I also used Dating by Design to as sort of a front to conduct interviews with potential boyfriends. So I'll talk a little bit about how you might be able to do that yourselves with whatever your own interests are. Okay, so I just really love this quote, obviously, from Paul Rand, who's the really famous logo designer who made the IBM logo, if you've ever seen it. It's like an eye, like this kind of eye, and a bumblebee and the letter M. It's really cute. But he says design is relationships, and I couldn't agree more. It's relationships between things like form and color, or time and space, or letters on a page. So design and dating are messy, wicked problems, and perfection is actually kind of impossible. So maybe it's better to start thinking about acknowledging that that's the truth and working within that messy line. So a wicked problem is defined as something that, as you start to understand it more and more, is revealed to you. So you sort of solve one bit, and then it's like, oh, well, but now you have this whole other piece that you have to understand. So I thought that was a really good way of thinking about dating too. I was like, you just get past one thing and then you realize that your partner is totally weird in some other way. So I started the research project that I mentioned earlier with this hypothesis that perhaps a great designer would be a great lover. There's a lot of reasons for this. Designers are empathetic, and they're concerned with helping other people and businesses. They're skilled in a lot of useful disciplines, including communication, interaction, and experience design. They're usually good at listening. It's part of the job is to ask questions and listen to clients. They're adept at reading between the lines and making sense of complex information, using metaphor, which is kind of this entire project. Dating by Design is one big metaphor. They're able to take criticism without taking it personally, and give criticism that is fair and constructive. So what I noticed though is that great designers are not always great lovers, and I wanted to understand why. So the research uncovered a few interesting facts. Designers feel confident about their abilities in design, but not necessarily in dating. So I spoke with one gentleman who told me he had put in over 20,000 hours to improving his work skills and only 40 hours to improving his dating skills. So I thought there was a problem there. Dating is a process and a skill that requires practice and commitment, just like design. So dating feels out of control and complex, even to great problem-solving designers. One of the people I interviewed cited chance as his main technique for meeting people. And another said, I don't know what I'm doing, I'm just playing it by ear. In design, we have this set of tools that we can use in different situations to help us solve any type of problem. So many people have said to me, you can't design the magic of love, it just happens. However, I believe we can design the networks on which love runs. So if you think of another metaphor of like the power grid in a city, you have to actually build the power stations and the lines before it's possible for energy to move through those. So I'd like to think about the work that I do with people as sort of like setting the foundation, building the power lines, so that love and passion and all that excitement can move freely on those lines. So finally, the rules of dating are outdated and fail to fit all types of people and relationships. By throwing out the rules and applying the tools of design to dating, you don't have to have a Walmart relationship, you can have a Herman Miller relationship. That was another thing someone said to me, and I really like this. So Herman Miller, if you don't know, it's just like a big design furniture company, and they sell some of the classics from great designers, like this Eames chair, which is, the Eames are a sort of iconic design couple from the 1960s. So their product is all about like longevity and beauty, and like timeless beauty, and quality of craftsmanship. And so I often ask people when I do workshops to think about this slide and think about what it would mean to have a Herman Miller relationship. It would mean something that was timeless and comfortable and beautiful at the same time. So it just is an interesting sort of dialogue. So then, after I did that research project and met my boyfriend, I decided that it was time for a new phase of the project. And I decided to write a book, which is the one I mentioned, on the ABCs of dating by design. So I really love the terms. I've always been fascinated by language. And there's a lot of really good words about design that also apply to relationships. As soon as I started going through all my design books and making this list, I was quickly seeing the connections between both. So I'll go through some of the letters that I've already written, but I wanted to show you the whole list. So this is the first one I did. A is for alignment. So you can always tell an amateur in relationships, in like a couple amateur in relationships, from them not having alignment on their goals or their vision or what they believe in. And it's the same about designers. So an amateur designer often forgets to have proper alignment on a page. So just, grids and lining things up nicely. That's a tip for you if you have to do any design work. Just make sure things are aligned and on grid, and break that grid strategically, not stupidly. F is for feedback. So, I'm going to just mention too, but A. So a coach can help you find alignment in your life. One of the tools that we learned in Randy's class was called the Wheel of Life, and that looks at every aspect of your life and sort of gives you an overall sense of where you're at in different areas, from your relationships to your home space, your job, your spiritual life, etc., and helps you understand where you should put your energy to sort of balance that circle out. So that was a nice comparison. So F is for feedback, which is also a crucial aspect of success in long-term relationships and in great design. They often say you can only do great design if you have a great client. And feedback is two ways. It needs to be both positive and negative or constructive. So I think coaches can help you with positive feedback and practicing that towards yourself, and also giving that to you as you go through your own sort of journey. This is one of my favorite ones. It's H is for horror vacui, which is a new word for me, but it means the fear of white space. I think it's the Latin word for that.
What is the word?
Horror vacui. So it's V-A-C-U-I-I. Horror, like scariness of white space. So often people will say like, oh, can't we just use this extra piece of space on the page because we want to put another ad here, or why did you leave that white space all over the place? There's too much white space, fill it in. And I think we do the same in relationships. We want to spend all of the time with one person, or we want to just hash things out over and over again, where if we actually step away a little bit, like you were talking about, sometimes that's enough to, give us the perspective that we need. Give some breathing room. So also I think coaches can help you take that step back for reflection and provide some white space or a different space in your life. I is for iteration. So as designers, we go through these cycles of learning and testing and making things better. The motto is fail fast, fail often, fail forwards. And that's a really great way of thinking about relationships too, especially if you're dating.
What is it again?
Fail fast, fail often, fail forwards.
You have to fail in order to succeed. Or...
Yeah. Try again. Isn't there a video of So in relationships, I don't think we often acknowledge the necessity of iteration in long-term love. So I think it's very easy to sort of come to a place that's difficult and say, well, I guess we're meant to move on, especially people in my particular generation, where there's so much choice. It's easy to just kind of give up and continue on, but I think there's so much opportunity for a redesign, shall I say, in relationships. So again, coaches can help you create a program for goal setting and iteration in relationships as well as in other areas of life. M is for mental models. So this is a tool that designers use to study thought patterns to discover gaps in product or service offerings. So they might shadow a person going about their daily routine and talk to them about the thoughts that they have as they undertake, say, brushing their teeth. And they might observe that it's really annoying when you try and get that cap back on to your toothpaste container every morning, and that puts you in a sour mood for the rest of the day. And you might think, well, that's a good opportunity for Crest to create a new toothpaste that doesn't have a cap that you have to continuously use on or something. So it's really useful for design, especially for products. But I think it could also be useful, I've kind of sketched out in this illustration, if you sketch out your mental model around something like going on a date. So in your head you might be imagining the evening, worrying about something, about the way you look, thinking the past dates, feeling doubt, whatever. And if you were to put that on a page and acknowledge that those are the thoughts that you have before a date, maybe when you're actually having that thought the next time, you'd be able to explain to yourself that it's not necessary for you to take that same path that you've been taking. And so in coaching, we would call that cognitive reprogramming. So this is one of the tools that I developed. There's actually, I'm up to letter N in the ABCs. I'm going to finish it by September. But this is a tool that I designed for Dating by Design. It's based on something called a business model canvas, which is basically like a one-page tool to help you see your business model if you're like a new business or you're trying to innovate within a larger organization. And it's also an iterative tool, so it's meant to sort of help you continually make your business better by understanding what value you're providing and to whom and from what channels, and how you'll know that you're doing well and that sort of thing, and what your budget is and what returns you get, stuff like that. So I reinterpreted this for dating, and I also have one for people in relationships. So the center there is the unique value proposition. So I've just written, what makes me awesome and appealing? This is some self-love space in the middle. And next to that, my unfair advantage, what I have that no one else does. So when I filled this out a couple of years ago, I wrote that I was the one writing a book about dating by design, so that must count for something. And below that, there's channels where I'm most naturally myself. So this is useful to think about where you feel really good about yourself. You should probably go to those places. So this is just a place to write that down and remind yourself. So for me, that's like on a dance floor or in a coffee shop. So I should just spend a lot of time there if I'm doing that. Customers, so this is, customers is a weird word maybe in this circumstance, but who it is that you're looking for and why would they be interested in you, right? And there you don't want to write things like, oh, he has to be tall and have blue eyes. It should be more like the sort of deeper aspects of a person that could be anyone. And next to, on this side, the solutions. We'll start with challenges. So 3 things that have held me back from having meaningful, healthy relationships. So this is like real talk time. Why do I think that it's challenging for me? And then a really easy exercise is just to write in the solutions category what the opposite of those things would be. So one of mine was, I'm not meeting anyone because I'm always at work. And then my solution was, well, then I need to meet someone at work. And funny enough, my boyfriend now is an old intern from that office. So, correct. And below that we have metrics, so how I'll know it's right. And that's like describing the feeling of how it will feel when you're with the person that you know it's right. And then finally at the bottom, there's 2 categories. What I'm willing to invest to have a great relationship, be that money or time, energy, letting go of your ego. And what returns do you want to see? What does the ideal look like? And when do I want to meet someone? So some of that is further described in another tool that I have called an RFP, request for proposals. So that's about getting even more detailed in writing out what it is that you want. So the more, as you know, the more you visualize and the more you imagine the kind of life that you want to have or the kind of partner you want to be with or how you want to feel in that kind of relationship, the easier it is to spot that person and that experience when it starts happening. So that's what I was talking about earlier about laying the foundation, doing the groundwork. This is a really great tool for that. Oh, and there's my book. I made a cover for it. So I can tell you where to find that. And also I have a class, which I talk about this tool and the RFP and another tool on Skillshare.com, which is like an online learning platform. And obviously I also do coaching with individuals. So yeah. Oh, there's my website. So both of those things, the book and that class, are on the datingbydesign.ca. And then my design work and graphic design work is at NEWHOUSE.com.
For more information on Ayla and her resources, check out the info in the description below. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe for more videos. And until next time, keep asking, how does my brain work?